This is one of the most interesting releases of 2025, and we're seeing a new product category in golf emerge. This is the Stix Jack Nicklaus 14-piece set. Now, this is not a beginner set, it's actually an intermediate set. And there are other brands that are coming out on the market as well with intermediate package sets. So brands are thinking, we had a bunch of golfers in the COVID years come into the game. They're graduating from those beginner sets, maybe something like the Costco set you've seen us review on this channel, and now they need something a little bit better. It could be something like this. PXG also has the Wildcat set. Both of these sets are over $1,000, creeping closer to $1,500. But to me, it begs the question, is this new category truly necessary, or do golf brands just want us to think it's necessary? To my knowledge, we've never seen this before. Now, there are things they get impressively right with this set, and there are other things that actually leave me scratching my head a little bit. Now, any good product has a product category. Just like Apple has their iPhone, and you can graduate to an iPad, eventually to a MacBook, and maybe to a Mac Pro. Same thing with something like this. You've got a beginner set, you're going to have an intermediate set, and maybe a set of advanced clubs down the line. So I think it begs the question, should Stix stay in their lane, catering to a fashion-forward, first-time, probably younger-leaning audience, or is this a good move for Stix? I'd love to know what you think down in the comments. It's an interesting concept that we're going to try to answer here today, but let me tell you, this is a beautiful set of clubs here, this Nicklaus collab with Stix. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. First of all, the first thing that strikes me is this head cover is a much higher quality than the regular Stix set. It's a pleather, you got the nice Golden Bear logo, you've got a raised embroidery here. It's just a much better package overall. Now, the driver in this set is going to be their Compete driver. This is the same driver that you've seen me test previously, but in a different color theme here for the Nicklaus set. You've also got his signature there. There's not a ton of weighting or options here in this driver, but it does have an adjustable hosel. The shaft on here is also Nicklaus branded. This is a graphite 60-gram stiff shaft that I've got in this one. There are a couple of different flex options that you can choose. I went for the stiff set here. You got a little bit of carbon fiber here on top. You've got the rest of this body is titanium construction, so it's going to be light. I found this driver to be good in terms of forgiveness and really good in terms of distance as well. It's a strong contender for a package set driver. Certainly a step up from the regular driver in the other Stix sets. Now, they round off the woods here with a 3-wood as well as a 4 hybrid. This is from their Perform series. So again, you've seen me test this same 3-wood and hybrid before, and again, solid option, but you know, I think if you're going to be changing clubs out of a package set, those are probably the first ones that are going to change. Now, the irons here are something that I have not yet had a chance to test out on this show, and these are absolutely gorgeous. I love the milling there. You've got the signature, you've got the Stix logo there. It's just a beautiful package. Now, it's an interesting package though, because again, this is really meant for an intermediate player or maybe even a mid-handicapper. This is a 2-piece construction. You can see there's a little port here on the toe. To my knowledge, these are not foam filled, but they do look kind of P790-esque in a way. But I'll tell you what, I have never seen a hollow-bodied cavity like this one that has a thinner top line. They've done an exceptional job with the look of that. Now, the one thing I'll note, you can see it here in the 4-iron on your screen. Here's the 7-iron and here's the 9-iron, but you're gonna have a little bit more offset than I would have expected out of a more player's distance iron. It's also just all in all a bigger head shape. It's a big look at address, which is forgiving for sure, but maybe somewhere in between a game improvement look and a more player-friendly look. So interesting choice there, but again, that top line bevel is so well done. Now, we've got 4-through pitching wedge in the irons, and then you're going to have a full complement of wedges from Stix, and this set has the 52, 56, and 60. This is the 60 in my hand, and again, this is really a standout for me in terms of looks. It's absolutely beautiful, very premium looking. Fair amount of bounce there. So again, they're focusing on forgiveness here, even though it's more player-friendly set. It's a very good looking package all around. And then you fill out the set here with the putter. Now, this is a different putter than you've seen me use before. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. This is a half moon shape. You can see it's a slightly bent neck there. It's got a beautifully big grip, a triangular grip, which is an interesting choice. So it's not necessarily a flat front. It is flat, but not completely flat because it's this triangle pattern, but it does feel good in hand. But I wouldn't say this is necessarily the most premium putter I have ever seen out of a package set. So again, this might be something that you'll want to upgrade down the line. The milling is beautiful on this. So some interesting choices here from Stix. Again, having a little bit more offset, but yet having that really thin top line. It's an interesting amalgamation of an iron, and then having a 4 hybrid rather than a 5 wood or even a 3 hybrid. Another interesting choice there from Stix. Another thing I think that's worth discussing here, we'll discuss it out on course more, is the choice of shafts. They've put a 120 gram stiff shaft here, which is pretty heavy. It's a stepless design, beautiful looking shaft, but an interesting shaft choice nonetheless, because that's more of a lower handicap weighting. Interesting choices, like I mentioned. It's all about results though, so let's take these down on course and see how we get on. All right, so time to step up to the first tee here with this set now. I'm gonna play my normal white tees. I haven't played in like 3 weeks. I've been on vacation, so I'm gonna give myself a break. Our over-under today is gonna be +2. We're gonna play 6 holes, try to use every club in the bag. See if we can get off the tee well here to start. Oh no, it didn't. Par would be unbelievable at this point. All right, so we need to get as much distance as possible. Being in the rough here, I don't want to pull out the 3 wood though. I'm gonna pull out a hybrid, which I think is a great club all around for these type of conditions. Let's see if we can put ourselves back in position. Nice strike. I did leave it out to the right a little bit, and we were careening towards a bunker, but came off the club very nicely, and a very easy club to hit. That's really why you want to keep a hybrid in the bag, just to get you out of tough spots. We are in a tough spot here, now hitting our 4th shot, so we'll have to get up and down from this fairway bunker in order to get our par, but a lot of golf to be played, and luckily I did set a little bit more of a generous over-under here today. All right, well, actually hit in the bunker and we rolled out, so lucky break. I'll take all the luck I can get. It's gonna give us a chance to finally pull out what I think is the best part of this set. These irons and wedges, I think, are really strong. 113 is the number, so I'm gonna actually pull out the pitching wedge here. We'll just take a little bit off of this one. Now I've gotta stay clear of a big branch here. All right, but I think the pitching wedge hopefully will get us up over that. I got up over that tree perfectly. It's on line. We'll see if the distance is right. Oh yeah. Great control there from the pitching wedge. We're pretty darn tight. Like I said, the iron's the best part of this set, I think. Now, the interesting thing is with this Stix Nicklaus collab, you can actually purchase the iron separately. You don't have to purchase this entire set. And in fact, I've heard from folks in the community that they've purchased single irons from Stix. So that's a really, really nice option to have. If you're not ready for the full set, maybe just consider either the wedges or the irons separately as you're stepping up and building your new set. I'm gonna pull a pin here because I really want to make this putt. Let's see if we can roll one in. These greens are punched, but we convert. So it was nice to make the first putt, because I don't know if you saw my last Stix video with the other more beginner Nicklaus set, but I did not make one putt with that putter. So that was huge here to start. All right, we're heading to the second hole here. It could be a good birdie opportunity as long as we can get off the tee well. All right, now one thing I do want to point out is I took the head covers off of the woods when I was photographing these clubs, and as you can see, I picked up some damage here on the top of this 3 wood, so just something to think about. These head covers are a little nicer than your normal Stix head covers. Keep them on there, because otherwise you're gonna mark your clubs up. You probably don't want that. All right, so short par 4 here. There is a bunker there on the right, and I've already been in enough bunkers today. So we're gonna go 3 wood, which should hopefully maybe take that bunker out of play. And I got to get my swing path right here so we're not snapping hooking shots on this dog leg left. Boy, that was not a great strike at all. It was low on the club face. I'll tell you what, it went straight and that was rising, so great peak height onto that one, and very forgiving result for an off-center hit. Now that's exactly why you take a 3 wood off this hole, because I took the bunker out of play there and I am in perfect position here. A little further back, because again, that contact wasn't as good as I was hoping. I've got 154 into this pin. Now I'm gonna go 8 iron here. I might think about 9 iron if this was my set, but I have noticed in my early testing with the Stix clubs here that these are not the longest irons out there. They're forgiving for sure, but they're not the longest set of players distance irons out on the market. And again, it goes to that point, is this a set for the intermediate folks? Are you gonna be wanting to step up to something like a P790, or is this what you wanna go with? All right, that pin's way in the back, so I'd rather be a little short of it if possible. And I'm gonna be short of it, I think. I also pulled that left Not a great shot. We're gonna be chipping up. So we're gonna get a chance to check out the wedges in this set, which again, I think are very, very strong. All right, so I've taken actually the 60 and the 56, because normally I'd be playing 58 here, but I wanted to survey this shot. I do have a lot of green to work with, which is nice. So I think I'm gonna go 56 here. Play it a little bit more back in my stance and let it hopefully run out towards the hole. Hit my landing spot. That's a pretty good result. We're gonna have 4.5 feet, I'd say, coming back. Oh, it took a weird bump right there. So that's a bogey. Should have been a birdie chance. Poor iron shots. We've gotta hopefully right the ship here, but we are headed to the most difficult stretch of this course here. 3, 4, and 5, all very tough holes. And I always say if I can get out of here even par, I am extremely happy. Let's see what we can do. All right, let's talk about the bag here. This bag is absolutely a step up from the standard stick package set that you get. I think they call it the play set. Obviously, it's got a lot of Nicklaus branding on it. You've got the name there, you've got his signature here, you've got the golden bear there on the other side. But on top of that, the materials are absolutely elevated. This almost feels like a vessel bag, but if you've ever purchased like IKEA furniture, there's the trick they use, which is to make the forward facing elements of the furniture a little bit higher quality. Like if you're gonna have a leather couch, for instance, the top portions, the portions you're touching are gonna be leather, but behind there they use some lesser materials, and it's the same way with this. So the forward facing parts feel great. I don't know if it's the same quality as a vessel in any way, shape, or form. That's yet to be discovered. We'll have to see how it holds up over time, but at least it has that same feel. It feels premium, and you've got some slightly cheaper materials there where you don't really need to see them. So great looking set, 100%. I think Stix is really fashion forward and trend focused. Certainly one of the reasons you would choose them over maybe a Hogan set or a Costco Edge set. It's not gonna have that same cachet. But again, is that important to you or not? That's something I'd love to know down in the comments. All right, third hole here. So we're gonna pull the big stick back out. I've got to get this under control, and hopefully we can hit another fairway, because this is a long 2-shot hole here. The drive needs to have some distance, and our second shot is going to be a little bit longer into this hole. Par would be a great score. I am going to adjust my swing path here again and try to really set up more for a bit of a fade swing. I did that and I over faded it. So very workable driver, much more workable than I expected. And unfortunately, we're gonna be dropping up there. We're gonna have to do what we did on the first hole and get up and down to save a par. We've got 145 into this hole. Again, kind of in between here. We got a little wind in the face. I think 8-iron honestly is a little bit of a safer club. It takes the bunker out of play. So let's see if we can hit a better 8-iron shot this time around. Now, that dropped me a little bit into the rough here. I'd say about 33% of this ball, or a third of this ball, is down in there. So we'll see how these clubs get us out of the rough. You do have a nice thinner sole there. No real like relief towards the leading or trailing edge, which generally helps cut through, but that thinner sole is going to help cut through the turf here a little bit better. And again, very confidence inspiring looking down at this one with this big shape. Let's see if we can put a good swing on it. Oh, thick rough. Is it enough club? It is. I'm glad I clubbed up there. We're gonna have a fair chance at it again. We're scrambling, but luckily we're getting a little help here from these clubs. So again, great result. So we do have an unlikely par opportunity here. I'd love to convert it because I don't want to be on the bubble this early in the round. Downhill, breaking right to left. Turn, turn, turn. Oh, oh, I thought I had it. Thought I had it. So we are on the bubble early, heading to the fourth hole, which again, very tight, narrow hole. I'm probably gonna hit a little bit less than driver here because right now I'm just not feeling confident with the driver. And if you're not feeling confident with the driver or any club in your bag, take it out of your bag for a little bit. Put it on the bench. That's what we're gonna do. All right, I'm gonna go 3-wood here. Like I said, driver is on ice. I'm gonna try to play a cut. And I did not, I hit it straight. That's trouble again. All right, well, we found the ball, but it's unplayable. So we're in trouble. We're gonna have to take a drop here, take a stroke penalty, and take our medicine. All right, we're in play. Now, hitting my third shot. So if I want to avoid a big number, we're talking 7s and 8s, The smart play is just to take my medicine out here and really play for like a 6. Now, if I wanted to take a very, very aggressive line, I could try to keep it under these trees, but over the next set of trees. But it's a long shot to there. We're talking 165 to the center of this green. So I'd be hitting probably with this set of irons, like maybe a 6-iron into this wind. We're into a little bit of a breeze. So I gotta at least avoid the big, massive numbers. I'm gonna try to play safe here and just get us back into position. This is the difference oftentimes between shooting in the 90s and shooting in the 80s, or shooting in the 80s or shooting in the 70s. Sometimes you just gotta take your medicine. All right, so, I mean, it could be a miracle 5. It's certainly not gonna be a 7. That's the goal, so mission accomplished there. I've got 96 yards. That should be a pretty perfect 56-degree wedge here. Good strike, center of the green. We're gonna have a putt for 5, and again, worst case, we're looking at a 6. All right, this would be awesome if this goes in. It would keep us in the over-under. Otherwise, we've got very, very slim chances. This green may be a little smoother than some of the other ones we played here today. Speed's the key here, speed. All right, so 6 it is, but we avoided the real big number, and we are headed to a par 3 where hopefully we can get one back. All right, 140 is the number. I'm going 9-iron here. Again, I'm feeling very confident with these irons, and maybe another reason I'm feeling confident is that shaft flex. 120 gram is what I normally play. I generally play either a KBS Tour or a True Temper 120, or what I have on my current clubs, which is a rifle shaft, all 120 gram stiff shafts. But I wonder, is 120 a good number for a package set like this? And it still goes to that question, is this a good intermediate set? Are folks that can swing 120 gram club, and that's what they're fitted for, are they gonna choose a package set? It's an interesting question. All right, time to put a good swing on one. And it looks like I have. That's looking right at the stick, if it's the number. Oh boy. All my iron shots have been excellent. It's the woods letting me down here today. This is gonna be 4 feet again. Very makeable distance. Oh, it's even better than 4 feet. It's 3 feet. On a different day with different conditions, it might have hopped forward and actually given us a chance. That would have been something to have an ace. But birdie is pretty good. That gives us a chance. It goes back to my point. If I would have made 7 on that hole, or 8, if I tried to take a risky approach and it didn't pay off, I wouldn't have a chance here today at the over-under. But because I played a little bit more conservatively, I do. We're 3 over with a chance here with another birdie. Although it is the #1 hole on this side, it's also, I think, probably not rated correctly. I don't think this is the hardest hole. If we can hit a good drive, we're gonna have a chance. All right, so I'm a little scared, but I'm gonna pull the driver out. After I hit this drive though, we're gonna rank these clubs. But we need to get the distance here, so I've gotta hit driver. But I gotta get my swing path correct. Oh, I hit it off the toe, but it curved back there into the middle of the fairway. It's gonna be just fine. It wasn't a great strike, but luckily this is a pretty forgiving driver. Okay, let's rank these. When it comes to distance, again, this is not a distance set. And so for me, I'm gonna give these a 3.5 out of 5. You're gonna get plenty of distance, especially in the woods when hit well. And the irons are going to be enough, but they're not going to be as long as something like a P790, for instance. Now, forgiveness clubs, they are. There was not a better example of that than my drive just now, where I hit that dead off the toe and it's still curved back here into the fairway. I'm actually in the middle of the fairway, a little bit further out, but I'm in a fairway. Now the irons, very, very forgiving. They've been super, super straight and accurate. For me, these are absolutely a 5 out of 5 in terms of forgiveness with these clubs. Now, in terms of workability, generally there is a balance, right, with clubs. A more workable club is generally not as forgiving of a club and vice versa, although these are workable irons. We saw the driver was workable when I overcooked that fade on the 3rd hole and we actually went into the water with it. So you can get some serious workability out of these. So these are in the player's category without a doubt. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a 4.5 out of 5 for workability as well. So really good balance there, forgiveness and workability. Now, when it comes to aesthetics, looks, feel, sound, I love the look of these. The milling on the back of these irons, the color coordinated theme, the bag, everything as a package has gotta be a 5 in terms of looks. Now, in terms of feel and sound, a little bit different. I don't love the sound of the driver. I don't love the feel. Overall though, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 in terms of aesthetics. Very strong on the the visuals for sure. And lastly, if we talk about value, this is going to be on the upper end of a package set, but you are getting a more premium product as well. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5 overall as a package set. But again, individually, if you talk about the irons, which you could get for about $700, then the value is really high. Then we're talking 4.5. But overall, I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 here for value. Here's the score on your screen. Let's see if we can get that birdie and get that over under. Yanked it. We're going to be chipping. I actually hit that tree up there. The over-under doesn't look good, but these clubs do look good. And again, I'd love to hear your answer to the question, is an intermediate package set like this or that PXG we talked about, are those sets a viable option and the logical next step, or should folks start to just piecemeal out their bags? If you want my opinion, which is probably why you come to this show, I would say I would be more inclined to piecemeal out a set once you get into the intermediate golfer stage, but I'd love to know what you think down below. Leave me a comment, join the discussion, and let's see if we can make a tough 5 here on this hole. Bite. As good as I could do. Though I haven't played my best, I have had an absolute blast with these clubs. I hope you will hit the subscribe button so you can check out all of our golf club reviews, honest reviews here. We're not sponsored by club brands. Everything we do here is independent, unbiased. If you want more of that, hit the subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch you back here on another edition of Let's Play Through.